Might as well put us a spark plug in there. The back part of this is on this housing is the two castings that comes out and this arm rides in. Okay. Now to explain this fork right here, well, let's see. Let's go for a remember. This right here was that's that long thing that we took out of one of them. It didn't come out of this engine, but this fork goes on this rod right here. Okay, going by the front part up here, there's only maybe an eighth of an inch play that this can actually move, and that still line up. But when I took this apart and was cleaning it up, and this is a bewilderment to me, don't have a clue how this happened. There is, I forgot, I counted them one time, but it's like 16 or 17 maybe indents where that set screw come down and made an indent. And each one of those is a different adjustment, and the length's about 3/4 of an inch. That's how much they have moved that back and forth. Even to the point to at one time they had it completely around on the back side around their adjustment. It could not have happened that way, because it would have the position where it would put this thing out up here. But anyways, there is the indent where it's been at for a while, and there's all of those indents. You know, I'll never know this. We will never know how that happened. Usually when you take these apart, it'll only be one, possibly two indents there. Most time it's one. And then there's an oil hole right there. And the way that thing works, and let's use our show and tell again. If you remember, the governor sleeve, this is the one we're going to use. And if you remember, it had that egg-lated hole like that right there where it was wore almost one hole past. That's where it was worn. Okay, this is the one that we're going to use, and it was worn even more. So you can see that I came on the wire side, and that way if it wires anymore, it will wire on around this way. You don't want to drill your hole here because of the wire into that one. Oh, it'll take years to do it, or it'll take hours of running. I mean, it's not time, it's how much the engine's run, how much this moves, and how much it's lubricated. But anyways, I drill the appropriate size hole. The way I did that is I just put it on this thing right here, put it up yonder, and then put a little dab of dye right on the end of this pin here, and then just put up there, made that come out here, and went over to the drill press and drilled a hole in it. So now we have a good fitting. That will come up there, and that will move in and out like that right there with no obstructions. The only thing it did is it rotated this oil hole, which would normally been straight up on top. It moved it around about a half an inch. The other thing is this is the two-piece, this collar, and this is the brass wiring, and the governor weight fits in this one, and it has a pin goes across yonder that your governor weight catches on to. Okay, if you put this on backwards, the governor weight don't catch to that. So there is a correct way to put that brass thing on there. I know I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I happened to find these 2 bolts laying over there. So let's run a wire brush in there. Good to go. That's where the EK magnet bolts on there. And this right here, that's the bolt that holds it on there, and it'll have a lock washer on it. And most of the time it will be a thin lock washer. Comes in from the back side. That's the top bolt on the EK mag. And this is the pivot, the other alignment bolt on that mag. And this would screw into the magnet. This part would stick out. And you'd put that back when you put, and we'll do it, we're going to do it. I'm just putting these over here for safekeeping. And this would be right in there like that with that thread sticking out. And then that would be over there like that. That's the EK magnet bolts. Let's just leave them right there for safekeeping. Oh, not to stray. The governor. Let's move over to the workbench. The governor. This right here, that's the governor yoke, and that's the weights. And I've already assembled this part. And you can see that I did put a spacer washer in yonder. They come from the factory with a spacer washer here, and the way it ended up being was a thin washer here and a thick one there. The way you know where that goes on your flywheel is when you look at the flywheel. There's two spokes that they have a larger arc in there for that weight to fit in. See, these are skinny, 4 of them are skinny, and 2 are wide. And you can see on this casting here, it was not a good casting, but that was factory. And I might add, you know, just a little tidbit. I have disassembled. It's kind of unknown number because I ain't kept account of it, but it's you know, it's like 70 or more engines, I think. And I have never found any on an international McCormick-Deering M. I personally, disassembling that many engines, I have never found any filler material in the castings. They would have just painted this right here, no primer. They would have just painted that and out the door. Now, I have encountered on maybe 3 or 4 occasions where that's a pretty deep crater right there, but it never had nothing in it. I have encountered where there was a little sand crater. Most of the time it will be on the face of the flywheel that you'll find it, but it's not a filler material. What they used was some kind of lead. And evidently they put the lead down in there and then took a punch and a hammer and just set it in there where it was level. But I have encountered a couple of lead repairs that I feel like was factory. But I have never found any filler material of any kind on a McCormick-Deering M of any year.